Welcome back, and thank you for keeping it here on CTV as we have a special interview with His Excellency Al-Hajj Habib Kagimu, the Honorary Consul of Malaysia to Uganda. And we're talking about trade opportunities between Uganda and Malaysia. We took a break when we were going into the opportunities in oil and gas. Big sector where many Ugandans are really eager for the sector to open up so that they can start to make money. Well, the break stopped you from making that very passionate point. Please pick it up.
Uganda has been lucky to find a lot of oil in the ground. And we are also lucky to say that Malaysia is one of the very developed countries in dealing with oil. Malaysia has got a company known as Petronas. Petronas is a locally grown Malaysian company, but it's one of the world giants in the industry of oil and gas, especially gas. Malaysia produces the equivalent of 100,000 barrels of oil and the equivalent of 750,000 barrels of gas equivalent to oil. And as a result, their Petronas company has done a lot of research and development in gas and in oil. And they have a lot of patents. They are working in every country there they have gas. Malaysia's Petronas works there. And in Uganda, I really would like to see that the Ministry of Energy or Uganda National Oil Corporation do some effort to attract Petronas into Uganda, because it shouldn't be that difficult so much, because Petronas are working in Southern Sudan. Petronas is one of the companies that found Sudanese oil. Sudanese oil is similar to Ugandan oil, and we are neighbors. So it shouldn't be a very big step for Petronas to jump from Sudan into Uganda.
All right. Considering how advanced the oil sector in Malaysia is, Uganda is basically starting out. Opportunities for learning and especially for having Ugandans go over and train in the sector. Are those available?
They are available because also Petronas has a Petronas University, which teaches everything to do with oil and gas exploration and oil services. But also in their country, in Malaysia, the government made it compulsory, almost compulsory, for Petronas to train Malaysians in the oil and gas sector. So what they did, they made a program of nurturing Malaysian companies and graduating them in oil services. So you have a lot of other companies which are not Petronas, but who have been working under Petronas, whoever Petronas is working, whether inside Malaysia or outside in the Arab world. And they have taken a few of small Malaysian companies which they have given contracts under their supervision and control, and they have trained them on the job. And they have grown up to become 2 billion, 1.5 billion, $3 billion companies. They are there in Malaysia, they are also there. Not only should we target Petronas, but we bring other companies which are of a smaller repute. They are not as known as Petronas, but they do a lot of oil and gas service, which we can attract here into the market in Uganda. As a Honorary Consul of Malaysia in Uganda, I promise that that is one of the issue I want to work on very, very much, because it would be beneficial for both countries to have Petronas come into the market here. And also from here they can go to our neighbors in Kenya. They found the same oil. Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, if they work here, they reduce their costs.
All right.
Because for us, all of us, because they would be serving the same market.
It's good to hear that
environment.
clearly as one of the things you want to do as Honorary Consul. What are other things that you're focused on doing in this period for the benefit of both countries?
There is something I also like very much. Ugandans like cars, because I sit in the traffic jams here and I see all the cars they bring from Japan and all that. Did you know that Malaysia produces cars, Proton? I call it Proton cars. If you ask all these young men who are studying in Malaysia, they have had the opportunity of driving a Proton. My son certainly had that opportunity. They drove Protons in Malaysia. And if some of the car importing companies can come to Malaysia and import Protons, Proton cars are very, very well done, but they're cheaper than their Japanese cousins from Toyota and Honda and all that. If some Ugandan businessmen can be interested in importing Proton cars, that would be very, very good.
Okay.
It is something I would like to see achieved.
One of the things Uganda is trying to do is to, balance our, trade books. Yes.
Yes.
As we import a number of good things from Malaysia, you did talk about coffee. Which other ones are you focused on, increasing our export to Malaysia?
We can also increase our imports from Malaysia by bringing in a lot of us here eat this palm oil, mnazi. In Swahili, I think that's what they call it, mnazi. We can import that. Malaysia is one of the biggest producers of palm oil. You have this company here in Uganda, which is planting palms. What is it called?
Which one? The one?
In Busoga there, in the islands. In Sese Islands, there is a company which...
Oh yes, the name eludes me, but I know the company you're talking about. It's had Bidco, is it? No.
Bidco, yes. That has a lot of presence in Malaysia too, and Singapore. So we can import a lot of their oils into Ugandan market and the East African market. But also Malaysia produces a lot of electronics, computers. They produce a lot of computers and electronics. You'll be amazed that before God tested me with COVID, I went to Malaysian manufacturers of all the equipment that you use to treat COVID patients, including the lung machines, which work on the lungs to encourage them to breathe properly. Yeah. They're all made in Malaysia.
Okay, so Malaysia being a developed country, there are all those things that they produce and we can import.
Yeah.
We know our situation.
At reasonable prices.
At reasonable prices. What can we export?
Besides coffee?
Besides coffee, what can we export?
They produce some tea, but we have a lot more tea. And you can export to Malaysia anything that you export to Europe, you can export to Malaysia, including, really, they buy a lot of things. You can even buy, we can export our cotton to Malaysia because they make a lot of textiles. And they prefer to use cotton textiles because their country is a bit humid and hotter than Uganda. Our cotton would do them a lot of good. We can export that.
All right. As we come to a close.
There are some other things which also Malaysia and Uganda are cooperating about.
Okay.
There is something which is the new city Uganda wants to build on Entebbe Road. And this city, Malaysia has helped Uganda to plan it. All the planning and drawings and all that are being done by Malaysia as a gift to Uganda for free. And will help Uganda to look for investors who would invest in this, because the government is making a master plan with the help of Malaysia, and then they will get investors who would want to build all the necessary things that you need to put in that city, the eco-city on Entebbe Road.
Okay.
That you will hear about when it comes into the paper. COVID hit it so hard because when they were planning to go on the road and start advertising for it and looking for investors in it, then COVID came in, and as COVID has done to everything, stopped everything, and that project is there. And it is a great project of cooperation between Malaysia and Uganda.
Yes, COVID has created a lot of disruptions, but it seems like there are also very many opportunities to study, to learn. Are there scholarships for Ugandans to go and study in Malaysia?
The
and also build
opportunities,
that kind of knowledge and expertise?
actually, a lot of Ugandan students are studying in Malaysia. My own children were among the first. My son was among the first to go there in the year of the tsunami, that is 2004. By then there were quite a few. My son was among the first 10 to go there and study. Now they're in hundreds of Ugandans. They have found out that there are a lot of good institutions of education. They have a lot of universities. And you'll be amazed to see that when you check the list of the leading 200 universities in the world, the only 3 to come from the third world are from Malaysia. So education is a great chance for Ugandans who want to study, because you can get the same courses, if not better, as you get from Canada, from America, from Australia, from England, at a cheaper cost. The school fees are cheaper. The cost of living is cheaper. I tell you, it's wonderful. Even while you need to buy clothes for winter in England and in America and all that, and then for summer, and then for spring, and then for autumn, in Malaysia you don't need that. The weather there is like ours.
Pretty much like ours.
Yes, pretty much like ours.
Right.
Also, Malaysia is very, very developed in medical treatment, as it happened with me. I was intubated when I had COVID, and I really was very close to death, I must say. And still I was treated very well, and I managed to survive.
All right.
Treatment is very good. They have wonderful, wonderful medical centers and institutions and hospitals where you can get treatment for everything.
All right. The time does not allow for us to go much longer. So where can interested people find more information about, the opportunities in Malaysia for
Before
Uganda?
I come to that, I would say that one of the most important things, if you want to do trade and investment, you do trade and investment with the people you like. Malaysians are easy to like. They are very nice people, extremely kind, very nice, very generous. So there are people I really would recommend anybody who wants to do business to do it with Malaysians. And also you can trust them than a lot of people we do business with all over the world. They are highly trustworthy. And if you need any further information about anything to do with the trade, education, investment with Malaysia, you approach us at the Malaysian Honorary Consulate in Uganda. It is at number 18, Wampeo Avenue. And I left my cards behind for you if you want to advertise the address, and it is there on my card which
Yes.
I gave you. And I'm very grateful to have met you people here. You have a wonderful studio, you have a wonderful opportunity, and I want to thank you very much for putting our webinar on live. It was seen in Malaysia, and they were amazed by the high quality of your pictures. And I hope my pictures today will be very high.
We guarantee that they will be. And if you have not watched the webinar that the Honorary Consul is talking about, just go to the CTV YouTube page and you can find, you know, bits and pieces of that webinar for you to benefit from. We have to end here only because of time, but Al-Haj had a lot more to tell us, but we have to end here. We'd like to thank you very much for coming to CTV.
Thank you very
And we
much.
hope we can host you again in the future.
Inshallah, and I wish you every luck. I like all Ugandans who start new things, and they start them at very high quality. You have high quality here, and I'm very happy and very proud that you are Ugandans who have done this.
Thank you
This
very much.
television is of very, very good quality. And when we had our webinar, we had wonderful presenters like Mr. Patrick Vitato, Dr. Elika Ruhanga,
yes.
and many others. The people in Malaysia were impressed by those people. The quality of the presenters, the quality of the presentation from the TV channel. And I'm very proud of you, and I want to thank you very much in front of everybody that you did a great job, and we hope to continue working together and serving our people and let the relationship between Uganda and Malaysia grow bigger and better for both countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and would like to thank you for watching this special interview. We commit to bringing you more interviews of high quality. Until then, it's a goodbye. God bless you. Don't blink.
Thank you.